The Department of Justice has announced that some arrests have been made after the ridiculous church storming in St. Paul, Minnesota on Sunday. However, there is one big name that is not on the list, at least not yet. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Bondi announcing that some arrests have been made after the ridiculous church storming that happened in St. Paul, Minnesota on Sunday. Now, Don Lemon has not been arrested, at least not yet. Oh, there was an attempt. There was a petition for Minnesota to arrest him, but a judge out there, a magistrate, declined. Now, there could be a way around this, but we'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Aside from Don Lemon, you have three who were arrested: William Kelly, Shantel Allen, and Levy Armstrong. These individuals are known to authorities. They've been doing things like this for a while. These are your provocateurs, agitators, BLM types, civil rights attorney, people that are trying to get into particular spaces and make money for themselves by causing mischief, by causing mayhem, by wreaking havoc. At least just my humble opinion from looking at them, from reading into the background, and just doing a little bit of casual observation. Now, before I go any further, let's get into the first person here. This guy's name is William Kelly. He's been arrested by the feds. There's mugshots. There's everything. And if you want to see or hear any of this without my commentary, link as always will be in the description. If you're on IG, Facebook, etc., visit the link in the bio. Go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
People who are wearing the uniform now, you think they're patriots?
I don't think so, especially those ICE agents.
That's
no,
hell
no.
Yeah.
Well, no, they're terrorists. They're traitors.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for your service. I appreciate
all the people in this church. They're living real comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps. So if we disturb their Sunday, oh no, nobody should have comfort right now while our immigrant communities are afraid to leave their houses. So Pam Bondi, you want to come and arrest me? You want to come and give me charges? So be it. As you can see, all these pretend Christians, all these comfortable white people.
Okay, Mr. Comfortable or not so comfortable white man, you about to be very uncomfortable in the penitentiary, making big rocks a little. And I hope you stayed there for quite a while. All right, but let's keep on going here. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Now, here is the mugshot. Let me just give you this angle right here. There we go. There's the capture picture, I suppose, with the feds being defiant with his terrorist scarf and the F Trump and all of that. Hey, man. It's time, because people have been talking about you on the internet for a while. You've been doing this type of thing all over the place for a minute. All right. So, yeah, it's time that you went ahead and sat down for a moment. All right. Now, this is going to be Levy Armstrong. And I believe she's some kind of attorney. And she is the one behind all this, the pull-ups and stuff like that. According to Don Lemon, from what he said on his live stream, she is the mastermind. And he was just following behind her. And again, we'll get to Don a little bit more a little bit later, but let's check this out.
Okay. All right. How are you?
Good to
see you.
A kiss on the cheek. Oh, I'm not involved. Okay, whatever.
We're on. We're not saying what it is, what's going on, but thank you. Tell us why you're doing this.
So
this is Levy Armstrong. She's on the show on Friday.
Levy Armstrong.
And before she continues, the person right there in the back with this fur hood on, I believe that is Shantel Armstrong Adams, whatever her name is. That's her in the back. We'll get to her in a minute.
Levy Armstrong. She's on the show on Friday.
Levy Armstrong, civil rights attorney, longtime activist here in the community. And, we protest and do activism in all kinds of ways. This is Operation Pull Up, more of a clandestine operation. We show up somewhere that is a key location. They don't expect us to come there. And then we disrupt business as usual. So that's what we're about to go do right now. We've had a lot of success with the times we have done Operation Pull Up.
Yeah.
After George Floyd was killed, we went to the Police Federation head's home and staged a demonstration there. We also went to the head of the U.S. Marshals from Minnesota after Winston Smith was killed by the U.S. Marshals. We went there after Dante Wright was killed.
Okay, so she's telling the whole plan. Well, not the plan of what they're going to do in this instance as far as the church storming, but she says, okay, we go here, we go here, we go here. We're organized. We're a group. And there's most likely funding. From where? Who knows? But she said, hey, this is my name. This is my organization. And this is what we do. So when it comes time for the trial, it'd be pretty much open to shut, in my humble opinion, because she done told you what she does right there. So that right there shows you intent. And also Don Lemon, there's intent on his part talking about, oh, we're not going to talk about what we're doing. We're live. Don't say nothing crazy. Don't get yourself jammed up. So that right there shows intent to disguise things that may be illegal or kind of borderline. Now there's her mugshot. Okay. There we go. Nice mugshot. Now I showed you some of Shantel Allen in the clip with Levy Armstrong. She was in the background with the fro hood. Now here she is doing the perk walk. All right, let's go check it out.
Lockup's in there. We'll bring her in. She'll stand off to the side. I know this only because I just did it once.
Okay, we got that. I'm seeing that more and more and more. And a lot of these videos, people get arrested. People had a double cuffs. And as you can see, you have one pair of handcuffs and then another pair of handcuffs linked together, because if it was just one pair of handcuffs, her back is just too big for the handcuffs to connect. Don't say I'm being mean. I'm just pointing out the obvious. Got a little hat. I thought it was gonna be one of them Saddam Hussein hoods at first. like where they taking her? Nah, just put a little beanie on because it's cold outside out there at Minnesota. Shout out to the Midwest. Are you guys gonna be okay during this storm? I mean, good grief. There's already a frozen tundra out there. How worse can it get? I don't know. But there's her mugshot. All right, there we go. Defiant, or kind of like, hey, just pointing at them. I thought it was middle fingers at first. It's just her pointing at the agents, the federales, the police, Homeland Security. There we go. All right, now, Don Lemon, let's talk about this part. So, judge rejects Trump DOJ's bid to charge Don Lemon over Minnesota church storming. So, just pause right here on this headline. What this means is the DOJ tried to get him. They tried to get him charged, but they refused. Now, this is no surprise. They could get Don Lemon if they want to be aggressive, but I doubt that they will. And let me explain. If they were so willing to sign off on 2 black women and that white dude, why would they get Don Lemon if they didn't get him when they got everybody else? It's not an identity thing. It's more of, we don't think that he was really involved. Although I beg to differ, because in every video I showed, the common denominator was Don Lemon. His uses of, we and us and kissing a lady on the cheek. To me, you doing all that, it makes you part of it. But this is what I said in my previous video. Don Lemon is legitimately retarded, in my humble opinion. He doesn't know anything. So the argument is, I just didn't know any better. Now, normally, ignorance of juris not excuse that. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. That's what they're going to say in court normally. But in this case, they might just say it's okay and give him a warning. Now, if it was me, if I'm the judge, oh yeah, now you're going to be in the same jail with everybody else who was there. I don't care. Ain't gonna be no special, because the thing about it is you have to learn, and it's got to be an example set. And if you don't learn from being punished, you're going to think it's okay to do. And then others are going to be inspired to do it. Oh, I'm just a journalist. I'm not really part of the protest. Meanwhile, you're part of the protest. You are the protest spokesperson. And you know that you're going to go do crimes. So you should be held liable the same as everybody else. But let me just read a little bit more of this. So a federal magistrate judge in Minnesota rejected an attempt by the Justice Department to charge disgraced former CNN host Don Lemon over his participation in Sunday's invasion of a St. Paul church service by anti-ICE agitators. Lemon, 59, was part of a group of dozens of demonstrators who disrupted Sunday worship at City's church. And he was part of the group. Everyone who was there said he was part of the group. He was agitating the people with his so-called interviews, the same as those who were just there making noise and shutting the church service down. He was no different. He was just the guy by the microphone and the camera. Quite frankly, he was the same as William Kelly, who also had a microphone and camera, who got arrested. But anyway, a source familiar with the matter told the Post that Attorney General Pam Bondi was enraged by the judge's decision not to sign off on the charge against Lemon and added that she was heading to Minnesota herself. Bondi announced earlier Thursday that 2 prominent local activists had been arrested over the disturbance, including Levy Armstrong and Shantel Allen, and local BLM Matters, BLM Black Lives Matter leader and a member of the St. Paul Public School Board of Education. Of course, a school board member, of course, right? Because who else? BLM, school board, it all kind of fits together. And it city council in a place like Minnesota, well, not Minnesota, the entire state, just Minneapolis, St. Paul, that particular area. It's kind of like the way California is, right? California is a beautiful place with really good people, but Los Angeles, hey man, it's a little different. San Francisco, but definitely LA, belly of the beast. The rest of California, outside of those places, beautiful. Probably the same thing in Minnesota. But as I close, I want to say this. The rot that's happening in St. Paul, Minneapolis, Minnesota, I don't know what you're going to do, but you got to figure it out because it's a problem that is damaging you guys. And when the problem becomes uncontainable, uncontained, unbridled, and it just spreads, now we as the USA have a problem. Same thing with the California virus. The truck drivers, no license, can't speak English, fake CDL. When they leave California, they wreak havoc in other places because they were allowed to first in California. That's my whole point. So I hope that everyone gets arrested here and they really crack down on what's happening in that particular area because it's really an issue, especially when they steal federal government money. But that's a whole different story, and I digress, and I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about these arrests? Are you satisfied? Are you not satisfied? Is it enough who are arrested? Should there have been more? How about Don Lemon? Should he be arrested? Should we go around the judge in Minnesota to make that happen? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys might know where I'm at. I'm going to tell you this. I'm not surprised at this result. I'm kind of like, I'm satisfied. If they were to get Don Lemon, I'd have been over the moon. I'd have been happy as a pig, and you know what? Oh, man, I'd have been jumping for joy they got Don. But I figured they wouldn't because he's retarded, and they know that. So they say, okay, we'll give you a warning, and if you do it again, then we're going to lock you up because you didn't know no better. But William Kelly and all these pay provocateurs, they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew full well what was going on. You had a lawyer involved with this. So out of everybody, she can most certainly not say that I was ignorant and I didn't know what the law was. Although nobody should be able to, according to the laws we have on the books, according to how we do things in the United States of America, nobody should be able to do that. But out of anybody who could do it, it'd be Don. And all the other ones most certainly couldn't because they do things like this consistently as a pattern all over the country and or right there in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area. So again, they were known to authorities beforehand. So I'm pretty satisfied. If everybody get Don some kind of way, that'd be the icing on the cake for me. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.